Hey everybody, we are back and we are back with the amazing Davy Sell. Hello,
Hi,
Davy.
Hello. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me, ladies.
Absolutely.
Well, we're excited about this topic. Although I've already owned my home, but I'm really thinking that if I have to go back and if I ever had to buy another one, the process that I remember is no one told me about all the paperwork. I'm thinking every time I thought I was finished, I think I went through 2 pens. So, tell us a little bit about you first. We want to know about Davy.
Oh, that's Davy. Okay. Well, I am actually a UVA graduate.
Woo!
Yeah, wahoo wah.
Yeah.
But so I actually got into mortgage straight out of college. So that was my very first job. I went straight into mortgage. It's a little bit of a family business for me, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yes. My mom's actually also in the mortgage business. We're kind of a mother-daughter team.
I like that.
Yeah, it's nice. So she's been in the business for 20 plus years now. She's been specifically a mortgage originator for about 15. So I've got a lot of experience on that, but I kind of grew up in this very fascinating world of mortgage and finance. Dreary to most, but kind of a very large part of my upbringing. So it was familiar, and it's been really, really great. It's been shockingly impactful.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Because you don't expect that.
You do
when you hear the word mortgage.
Most people step away from it. It's too much involved. It's,
Yes.
and they, they want to just have someone take it over and take it off. Tell me all about it. So tell us all about it.
All about
Take the fear away. Take the fear away.
I think that's the number one thing is people, especially first-time homebuyers. I do a lot of work with first-time homebuyers, and the biggest thing is, what do I do next? What's my next step? Or what's my first step? That's always the big question. So the process has changed. I think a lot of people know that. Things have been, a lot of stuff in the past couple years. So a lot of people who bought their first house maybe before 2008, they come back into the process now, and it's very different. It looks so different. But I think the really important first step is to find your team. Find the people around you that you trust, that you believe can answer your questions, that are available to answer your questions, whether that be, your mortgage loan officer, that be your real estate agent. If you need, credit counseling, obviously you need a credit counselor, but just someone who's there to kind of lead you through, because it can be a lot.
Now, is it important to have the process like your loan officer first, or who comes first in this whole process?
It always
Chicken or the egg?
Yeah, exactly. Right? It's always different. It's always different, I think, for many people. Typically, when you think, I'm buying a house, you think real estate agent. That's the first thought. So typically what happens is real estate agents, that's the first point of contact for most people. And then they will actually lead you to people they trust, people they know can get the job done, that will actually answer your questions, that will be available for you. And I've heard this from a lot of different real estate agents as well. There's not a one-size-fits-all lender. Everyone offers something different. So they probably have, a couple trusted individuals that they'll meet the clients. Real estate agents spend the most time with you. So they really get to know your personality, and they'll be able to develop that relationship and be like, I think this person is going to be the best fit for you. Right. So typically that's how it happens. You can always go to a lender first, and they can refer you to their, agents they work with that they trust as well. So it can it's very referral based, which is nice, because it's not, that it's not anything hinky or involving money or anything weird. It's always a relationship. It's always kind of this trust circle.
But it's always the process. Like, it makes me feel like, when I remember going through the process, it was as if you were walking into the principal's office, I should say. And it's like, okay, do I have all my paperwork? Are they going to find something? And when am I going to have to fix something? I really saw that house around the corner that I really, really love, and I need to move fast. You're sweating, and you really the process. So when somebody really is ready to buy and they come to you first, what do we need to bring you? What
that's a good question.
What do we need to what do we need to have in our little portfolios or binder?
You love your binders.
I love my binders. Davy knows me.
Well, really, the primary stuff we look at. So first things first, we look at credit. That's the initial threshold. That's kind of the main focus for the very first step. So we're going to look at your credit. We're going to look at your credit report. We're going to walk through it with you. typically, if things look good there, then we're going to ask you for some documentation. So we're going to ask you for 30 days pay stubs. We're going to ask you for 2 months bank statements. And we're going to ask you for your last 2 years W-2s. So that's kind of the baseline of stuff that we're going to need. We're going to need some employment history. We're going to need some residential history. But really, it sounds a lot more involved than it is. Those main paperwork items, those are kind of the crux of what we call prequalification, which is what tells you how much you can actually afford and how much you can go shopping for, which is the fun part. So we like getting people there. But yeah, no, that's the basis of the documentation. And we just kind of using, our own ratios, the debt to income ratio, which is how much of your monthly income is going to monthly debt, and that kind of thing, how much in assets you have, kind of determining what you can afford, what's going to be the best fit for you. If you're a first-time home buyer, what grants you might qualify for, that's a big one. And different lenders have different access to grants. So certain lenders might have access to one that the other one doesn't. So that's another reason to talk to, different people, different lenders, or even express to your real estate agent, I'm looking for grants if they're giving you a recommendation, because some people are more used to working with them than others.
But there are grants out there for what type, like teachers and public service and things like that. Okay. Yeah. And you assist them with that, or you assist them on where to go to find it.
Yeah, it's actually one of the biggest questions when I get someone who I tell them, hey, you qualify for this grant, because and I think Village Bank, we do a really great job with that. But there are a lot of local lenders that do an incredible job. The first thing we look for is grants. We always, if you can get it, we want to help you get it. So the first thing we start looking at what you might qualify for. So for example, you were talking about teachers, nurses, police officers, firefighters. There's something called the Community Partners Grant through the Federal Home Loan Bank. That's a really great grant. And that's not just for those people, that's for people who work in those buildings. So you could literally be an administrative assistant at a school. And you can get that $7,500 Federal Home Loan Bank grant if you're within the limits, the income limits, and there are specific guidelines. But yeah, no, that's the first thing we'll look at. We'll see what grants you qualify for, and when you get to that point, we tell you this is the grant money you have, this is how much you qualify for. Once you're under contract, a lot of people are like, well, how do I apply for that grant? How do I get it? We really handle most of that paperwork for you.
That's a lot.
It is. We actually have a specialized person in our office who does the grant paperwork, which is nice. But mostly the maximum involvement you're going to have is either, if you're going to a community-based grant, you're going to be working with their personal counselors. But if it's a grant through kind of, the federal system or through the state, we'll handle most of that application work for you. Really, you'll only need to take a class.
Right.
So we have, first-time homebuyer courses. Most of them require that. We're very familiar, obviously.
Yes, yeah. And you actually have one coming up.
I do.
So make sure that you tell people about that. Because Davy does an absolutely amazing job at putting these classes together, bringing people together, and actually being the person who is facilitator, more or less, and actually being a presenter. She breaks it down enough where you go, oh, well, that's not that bad. That's not that hard. And it really explains a lot. And that's what I absolutely love about it, because she actually, I say, give you the Dr. Seuss version, but don't make you feel like she's giving you the Dr. Seuss version. And you go, oh, and then she's always open for questions. She's like, oh, you can reach me anytime. I really don't know if there's ever a time where I have called Davy Cell and she did not return my call or email within an hour. Never. It's like sending out the bat signal. She's on it. If you do have an opportunity to talk to her, the response time is nil to none with her. So I really, really love that. And I'm going to say, how is it working with your team?
My team, you mean my cell team? Yes, I love it. Everyone's always like, oh, is it your team? I'm like, yeah. But yeah, it's cell team is me and my mother, Ingrid Cell. Also a team member, John King, and Shannon Morris is our right-hand lady. She's our transaction coordinator. We really have a group of people who have tons of experience, tons of different experience, which is so great. And so we kind of all... It's become such a synergy of a group. We all hold each other accountable. We all have our goals, and we're all kind of really heavily critical. Wow, we keep an eye on one another.
Yeah. Maybe you need to do some corporate training. Well, okay. So one, if I I'm a first time home buyer or not a first time home buyer. If I am wanting to buy a home today, what I know what you told me to bring.
Yes.
Calling you, how do I do that?
How do you call me?
Yes. How do I call you? What's your number?
What's my number?
Yes. What's your number?
It is 804-908-2640.
One more time.
804-908-2640.
Ingrid would be proud.
I hope she's watching.
No, this sounds really good. I like the thing about the grants because that's one thing that everyone asks. Another thing that someone asked, and I hope you do a seminar on this one day, is student loans. That's a huge thing. I know that's probably more than an hour for the show, but I mean, really, because we really want to have Davy come to our to some workshops that we do, and in reference to telling people about student loans, because from a mortgage lender standpoint, and because I know some of the laws have changed right now and things like that. But if you have an opportunity, you can call in tonight, of course. But we are going to put Davy's information up on our website as well as our YouTube channel, and we really want Davy to come back because we will be doing some segments where it's just basically on this.
Okay.
Because it is something. But you have anything else to say?
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you. We lock the doors. You know that. You know that's my motto. Lock the door until we're done with them. That's it. No, but we know we really do. I think this is a topic that everybody wants. I've never been in a situation where I came from a small town, and it was always the point of you did not move into an apartment. You purchased a home.
Which is very different.
And it's different now, and it's just like something, it just bothers me when I hear somebody that's been, renting for 5 or 6 years and they really don't have anything to show for it. That really bothers me. So I wanted to, the one reason why Pearl and I wanted to have Davy on is because, if you've been through the neighborhoods lately, you've been seeing signs popping up in reference to houses for sale, houses for sale. So this is a great time for you to get out and really look at those houses, but see if you qualify. So this is absolutely great. And Davy, what's the number again?
804-908-2640.
And what's your website?
My website, I have a Facebook, I have a Zillow, and I've got my corporate one. So
how what do you want to give, Davy? What do you want to give? I'm looking at all cameras here. What do you want to give, Davy?
Literally, if you just Google Davy Sell,
she has a cool name.
Unique name. Not a lot comes up. So the very first result will be my Village Bank mortgage page.
And let me tell you something. She has the coolest. I don't know if you bought a business card, but she has the coolest logo. It's like a night lamp.
Oh yeah, for the cell team.
For the cell team.
Yeah.
But I kind of think that is, the light is always on. Yeah. So basically, that would be Davy's bat signal right there. Is that whenever you see that logo, you need to pull the car in, go ahead and check and see if Davy is there. If she's not there, ask for Ingrid. Yes. They're very welcoming. Trust me. Trust me. I've gone to their office and just ambushed them. Surprise!
It's a party.
Surprise! But anyway, Davy, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you coming and giving your information. Really. And I would love it if you could do some tips and share it to our viewers. So I'm sure if you can get that to